Hey guys, so I just wanted to come on here and do a little editing update chat vlog kind of thing because I just started editing my manuscript and wow. I'm 20 years old and I'm a newbie, and honestly, I'm gonna be honest with you guys, I hate editing. I don't even edit essays for school. I really detest it. I don't like changing things. I don't like going back and rereading and picking apart everything. I just don't enjoy it. Some people love editing. Some people think it's the best part. I don't like it. I like that my work is stronger afterwards, but I just don't like taking the time to do the editing process. So I started editing my work in progress, Valor, right now. And if you didn't watch my work in progress tag video, you won't know, but I started this book when I was 17, and it sounds like I started this book when I was 17. Reading the first couple of chapters is so difficult because the writing just isn't up to the standard that I'm up to right now, and so many things are messed up. I would say the number one thing that's bothering me right now is inconsistencies, where I changed the character's eye color, or their mother is dead in the first chapter but not in the last chapter, and it's getting frustrating to read them over and over again, where I know personally that that was an outlining and a plotting issue. I don't really like to plot or outline much, so I didn't. And now I have issues going through the book and trying to fix those inconsistencies that I didn't plan for. Another thing that I've been seeing, because my book is a historical fiction, is a lot of things that I need to go back and research more, do more work on, and really like nail down those facts for certain things, like do they wear wedding bands, or what do their clothes look like? So I'm marking all of those things down right now, and at this point my plan is to go through the whole manuscript and make notes on everything that needs to be changed and fixed and updated, everything that needs to be researched, or inconsistencies that I need to make sure don't keep popping up. And then when I go through it again after this first initial read through, that's when I will actually do the rewriting and the fixing of everything. So it's a little daunting actually looking at it. And also I know just from my own personal experience with the novel, obviously being its writer, that I'm not going to have the first chapters that are the first chapters right now be the actual first chapters of the book. I'm going to change them and move them elsewhere, fix them and make them fit in a different place. So when I'm reading them, a lot of that just has to be rewritten. Those chapters need to be rewritten. So it's daunting to look at all of that work and know that that's what's coming to me, that I have to do that. But I'm excited to make the novel stronger, and this is all part of the process, right? So while I'm editing, I actually have most of the manuscript in this giant binder, and I have these little tabs for each chapter at the top. The title page just says Valor, but I have all these tabs at the top here to tell me what chapter it is that I'm looking at. And I've been using these Crayola super tips almost as highlighters to mark off different things while I'm reading, and I can quickly tell you those things in case you're interested. I use one for dialogue, I use one for characters, one for plot, one for history, one for lines that I love that I want to keep, because like I said, a lot of the beginning stuff is going to have to be scrapped. So when there are lines that I really like and I want to mark down, I highlight them in a specific color so that I know I want to keep this line even when I do rewrite it. Then I have one for settings, and I have one for plot. So I use these to basically highlight a certain part or bracket a certain part, and then I use a red pen, just normal red pen, to mark what needs to be changed or fixed or moved about that section, why I felt like I needed to highlight it and bring attention to it. So hopefully this system will work for me, and when I go back to do the actual edits, I will know what needs to be done and be able to do that. Of course, this is my first round editing, and this is my first time actually editing a project this big. I've never written a novel before. It's my first novel, and it's a behemoth of a book. It's around 150,000 words, so it is huge. Oh, it's not huge, but it's big for a debut, and I don't necessarily know how this editing is going to work, but I'm hoping that this system works for me, and that when I'm done with it, I will have a stronger novel and I will know how to move forward in other rounds of editing. Right now, my plan is to spend 1 week doing this initial outline, pre-editing almost, of just a read through and deciding what needs to be fixed or changed or moved or added and whatnot, and then 3 other weeks actually doing those things. And of course, I'm open to it taking longer, because it probably will take longer. Knowing myself, I always underestimate the amount of time it takes to do a certain task. But I'm hoping that it'll only take 3 weeks, and that way this initial first draft of the first draft, so going into my second draft will be completed in a month. That's my goal. We'll see how that ends up working, and I will update you guys as I go along. But right now it's working fine. I use the marker for lines that I love, less in the parts that I'm keeping, more in the parts that I'm not. And also I'm thinking about doing a separate notebook where I write down all of the things that I'm marking in the manuscript itself for each chapter, so then I can look at that and say, you know, this is all of the history stuff that I need to research for the whole of the novel, and I don't need to flip through each individual page and do that. So that would be something that I would update after every editing session. I would update what I marked down in that chapter and what needs to be changed or researched or written, so then at the end I could look at it all in one place and not have to flip through all of the pages. I think that would be really helpful for me personally, especially with the research component, because if I don't know that I have to research it and maybe I skip a page and I go back to try and rewrite that, it's going to be really frustrating to then have to go back and research it. So that's something I'm considering doing as I edit and as I go along, but I'm not fixing anything necessarily at this point. I'm just marking down things that need to be fixed. Who knows if this is the right way to do it or the wrong way to do it? I don't really know. I'm just playing it by ear, and we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's my editing update. I'll do another one for you guys maybe next week when I've done more editing, and I'll maybe update you on my system and how it's been working for me. Yeah, so I think that's all I have to say for now. If you're editing your work in progress, let me know down below. What's your first step? How do you first start editing? Do you read through and not make any marks and then start editing, or do you jump in right away? Do you separate it, saying, you know, I'm gonna fix grammatical things first and then history stuff and then plot stuff? Or do you do everything all at once? I would love to know what your process looks like, and if you have any tips or tricks to help me out, they would be much appreciated if you want to leave them down below. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.